beautiful people? So I am back again with a new video for you, and this time, as the title states, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how I lost 50 pounds. That's right, 50. Although I don't really feel like it. I mean, there's definitely changes that I've noticed, but 50 pounds always seems like a lot. And sometimes I look at other people who have lost that amount of weight and I'm like, wow, that's a huge change. However, when you're bigger and you lose that much weight, there's really like not a lot of difference. You probably gotta lose a whole lot more before you actually see some change. And that's how I feel right now. But I do not want to negate my success. I have been doing great. I have lost 50 pounds. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I did it. And I'm going to start with just a little bit of background so that you can understand kind of my whole journey to weight loss, health, etc. And then I'm going to get into kind of my diet and my exercise routines and what I really focus on to make sure that I lose that weight. So starting back, I've always been a big girl. As far as I can remember, always have worn, you know, like the, I can't remember, when I was a kid we used to have to shop at the special section in Sears. I forgot what it was called. It was like Pretty Plus or something like that. Who knows? I don't know. But it was like, you know, the plus size basically for girls. So, always been plus size, always been a bigger girl. I've always been taller, so you can imagine how fun that was in school. But you know, I've always been active, always been okay and pretty much maintained. Although I was always overweight, I was always fairly healthy as far as everything. I never had any issues with blood pressure, diabetes, or arthritis, my joints aching, anything like that or whatever. I've always been healthy up until now. But so I was always in sports, always did dance, I was always doing something. I can first remember really being super aware of how much I actually weighed or how big I was in college. So in my undergrad years of college, I was living on campus. We were walking everywhere, walking to every class. We had classes in all kinds of different buildings on the campus. It wasn't huge, but you know, we still had to walk. You had to walk like, you know, 2 or 3 blocks, 3 or 4 blocks, depending on where your dorm was, where, you know, you could go from one side of campus to another, depending on where your schedule was, etc. So always active, always doing things. Then graduate school came around and I moved off campus. I lived in an apartment and I also got a car. So I was driving from my apartment to school, parking, and then we also had classes in the same building, in the same room. So we didn't change classes. Our teachers came in and out of our classrooms. So I was just sitting around all day doing nothing. I mean, not doing nothing. I mean, we were in school. But we were sitting all day, literally like up to 8 hours a day. We had, you know, little breaks in between, like 5-10 minutes, and a lunch hour, and that was it. And so there was really not a lot of activity. Plus it was grad school. I was studying all the damn time, sitting on my ass, eating a bunch of crap food, driving to school, sitting on my ass at school, sitting on my ass in the car. So my ass got big. I was also in a relationship at that time, and so, you know, we spent all our time like, oh, let's go out to eat, let's go do this, let's go do that, sitting on our asses even more. So I got pretty big. I don't know exactly how much I weighed, but I know that I can look back at pictures and be like, good Lord, yeah, you were a big girl. Like a big, big girl. So, I mean, I never really let it bother me. I mean, obviously I was in a relationship. It's not like it bothered him necessarily. I still was very active, had tons of friends, and still did everything, you know, that I wanted to do. I didn't let it hold me back ever, but I was just not, I don't know, not super comfortable with like clothing, and that was always my thing. Like I always want more options for clothing because obviously I love clothes, and as you get up in size the options become less and less and less. So I was already at the like max size for any plus size store of whatever was available back then. So I was like, okay, I gotta do something about this. So after I graduated school, I started working, and I did work out a little bit here and there. Didn't really do much as far as diet is concerned, but I did work out, so I did sort of maintain, sort of decrease or lose a little bit of weight at that point. It was maybe like, I don't know, 20, 20-ish pounds. I'm not sure. I can't really tell you the exacts. But I did lose a little bit of weight. And then came the decision to move to Florida. So I moved to Florida in 2010, and I lived in Miami. And Miami is like appearance capital of the States. Like, I don't know, maybe on the same level as Los Angeles, a little less perhaps, but you know, it's warm down there, you got a lot of beaches, you're pretty much just spending your time in the ocean in a swimsuit. So obviously the girls down there look amazing, they have banging bodies, even though some are cosmetically enhanced, it doesn't matter. I've definitely felt the pressure to look good, so I started working out like heavily. I was only working part-time. We lived like 2 blocks from the beach, and I would use that time to go exercise. I started off walking every morning, and then I would walk and then run a little bit, walk and then run, well, jog, walk and then jog a little bit, and then I did a little more, and then I was doing, you know, little exercises in my room and doing squats and doing, you know, some lifting or whatever it was. Changed my diet a little bit, and I started noticing a good amount of weight loss. So I got to pretty much like a size 18, 16-ish. I mean, I was really happy with the way I felt, really happy with the way I looked. It was so much, I've just had so much more energy and everything, you know, and so I maintained that for a while. And then, of course, I got into another relationship. There's a little pattern here, apparently. But, yeah, and then, you know, just I kind of, even though I did work out here and there, obviously, you know, he and I were spending more time together. We were going out to eat. We were going to the movies, and more time spent on the ass again. So I definitely gained a little bit more weight. Not a whole lot, but I did gain some weight at that point. So when I moved back here in 2015, I decided that I was going to lose weight again. So again, I like, you know, worked out and whatnot. I did lose a little bit of weight and whatnot. I was pretty heavily into it in 2017. And then I got into another relationship, and that didn't really change anything as far as the weight was concerned. But then the big thing that happened was 2018. That's when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So at that point, I was much more aware of how much I weighed because I was doing pretty much constant weigh-ins. So while most people think that when you are diagnosed with cancer and you start chemo and you start treatments and whatnot, a lot of people immediately think about the very sickly looking, emaciated, thin, gaunt, bald people who kind of personify the whole like cancer patient. Well, contrary to that opinion, that's usually not true. I mean, yes, that definitely, I mean, I was bald for sure. I lost all my hair, yes, so that part is true. I was definitely sick a lot of times after receiving chemo and throwing up and whatnot and not eating, etc. However, something that a lot of people don't know is that one of the drugs that they give you when you're taking chemo is steroids. Steroids have a multitude of side effects, but they pretty much give them to you to counteract any sort of like really adverse effects that the chemo might have. So one of the big side effects that steroids has is that it'll make you gain weight. So, and you get very swollen and puffy. So it makes you like retain water basically. So I remember when I was first diagnosed, I think I was about 282, 281, something like that, somewhere around there. I remember that I was pretty much constantly in like between 270 and 280, right around there. Then I remember after my very first chemo, I did not take it well, and I lost 10 pounds right off the bat. So when I went back for my weigh-in on the second chemo, I was 10 pounds less, so like 270 something, 260 something, around there. And then the next time I gained a little bit more because it was a combination of, now I'm on steroids, so I already have those side effects. Number two, I wasn't eating anything for like 3 to 5 days at a time, depending on how I felt after the chemo. And then when I could eat stuff, I had to eat like bland things and things that were kind of high calorie because the nutritionists and my physicians were wanting to make sure that I did not lose any more weight. So I was eating things like rice, pasta, potatoes, really like high caloric things, and then like protein on top of that, so like chicken or whatever I could take. And those were my meals in between. So I remember like every day that I could eat, I was eating like eggs and potatoes and chicken and pasta, basically. Or chicken and rice or something like that. So all the carbs, all the calories. And then my weight pretty much would like maintain around 280 something again, back up. So they weren't worried about me being at that weight at that time because they just wanted to ensure that I wasn't losing weight. So I was pretty stable at that time. Then the second round of chemo came around and it was now summertime. Again, like I said, I was in this relationship and we were going out everywhere. I was like, I feel good, I feel better, I want to do everything, I want to see everything, and I want to eat everything. So we were going to like festivals, we were going to concerts, we were going to fairs, you know, we were going to everything, and I was like, I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that, and you know, I was like, I want all of it. And I was just living my best life because I was feeling better, as in not having the side effects of the horrible chemo that I was going through. The second round of chemo was so much lighter. And just being summer, I was, you know, happy, I was in love, and I was just like, I want everything, yay, you know, like I want all the experiences. So I remember like we would go to, you know, we would go and get like fast food here and there and whatever, and like so my ex-boyfriend lived in Wisconsin, and we used to have Qdoba here in Chicago, but they got rid of him for the most part. I think just maybe one or two. They have a ton of Qdobas up in Wisconsin, so I would like chow down on that. My favorite I remember was the nachos, and they had 2 types of cheese. I would mix that up and I'd be like, in my mouth, it's great. And then I remember he really liked Taco Bell, so we'd go to Taco Bell a lot. We'd order, you know, nacho fries, which are great. But, you know, we would just chow down on everything. And, you know, it was, being up in Wisconsin, you can imagine, it's like the cheese capital. They have all the greatest fried foods. We would be at the festivals and the fairs and all of the different options you had of like pizza cone and deep fried Oreos and cream puffs and, you know, all that stuff. They have custard up there. It's just like gross food capital. So, you know, I just enjoyed a whole bunch of it. But then, so when I was about to have surgery, I did have to do like a pre-op visit. So they did all my vitals and they did like an EKG and they did all this stuff just to ensure that I was safe enough for surgery. So I think it was at that weigh-in or maybe my last chemo prior to that, I remember my weight was at its highest that I've ever seen it at. I think it was at like 298 or 299, something like that. I mean, I was literally almost 300 pounds. I was devastated. I was like, I am nearly 300 pounds. I have cancer. And of course I was single then too. So that's great. So a lot to think about. Obviously I had surgery, and then after surgery for the first 3 or 4 weeks or so, I was just spending time healing. But I made the conscious decision to change my diet right at that point. So diet was the first thing that I changed, because I couldn't do any activity or anything at that point yet. So the main things that I knew that I wanted to do and I wanted to change was, number 1, I was going to go dairy free, so absolutely no dairy. Number 2, I was going to do gluten free. And number 3, I was going to try and eat as much organic and plant-based as possible. So dairy free was, or means, no cheese, no milk from a cow, no cottage cheese, no cream cheese, no sour cream, no ice cream. Anything with the word cream in it is basically out the window. I'm a huge cheese lover. Obviously, as I just said, my favorite thing was nachos at Qdoba. But I I've given it up. You know, I have read a couple of studies that state that dairy and a lot of poultry too that were given antibiotics and hormones, particularly the hormone part, it is can be linked to breast cancer. So I said, cut. I'm not going to eat this anymore. I don't care that I'm not going to eat cheese ever again in my life. I'd rather have a life. So, you know, that's the one thing that you just have to understand, that after having gone through everything that I went through with treatment and this diagnosis and just like surgery, etc., you make a change. I know that people say that people don't change, or, you know, it's not a normal thing that people change, or like something you see every day or whatever, or, you know, a lot will say, oh, people don't change, they just stay the same, whatever. No, I'm sorry. I would have agreed with you like over a year ago. I would have said the same thing, and I would have been like, oh yeah, I probably would have been the person saying that. But going through something like this, where you're literally dealing with your mortality, dealing with life and death, dealing with something that is completely out of your control, you change. Let me tell you, you change. So in this case, I'm trying to do everything that I can in my power, everything that I can that is under my control, to ensure that I don't have to deal with this again. This treatment is rough. Dealing with the fact that this might come back, or show up somewhere else, is horrible. I'm not gonna lie, it's horrible. So, sorry. So I'm gonna do everything that I possibly can to make sure. So, starting with diet, that's the first thing, you know, like, I've changed a whole bunch of things. I've changed a lot of things that go in my mouth, that go on my body, around my body. So diet is a huge one. Obviously it affects a lot of the systems in your body, first and foremost. So dairy-free is the way that I'm going now. Gluten-free, I'm stopping just because I know that gluten, even though I do not have an intolerance to gluten, I don't have celiac disease or anything like that, I don't have any sort of issues with food, I never have, I've never had any indigestion, I never had any heartburn, I never had anything, really. I obviously enjoy all the food, and but I know that gluten is also linked with creating inflammation in the body. So I made a conscious decision again to remove gluten from my life. So in conjunction with that, I've also kind of decided to cut a lot of carbs from my life in general. And that is more of the weight loss aspect of things, just because carbs have a lot of calories in them, and if I'm trying to lose weight, then I'm trying to restrict my calories, and a good part of it is going to come from carbs. So I've cut that out pretty much altogether. So I've stopped eating bread, I've stopped eating pasta, I've stopped eating rice for the most part. Here and there I do eat some rice, and a lot of things that are gluten-free are made with like rice flour or whatnot. So I'll eat rice here and there, but I try not to make it a big thing. So cut out gluten, anything like that, and then the organic part. I just make sure that I try to really encompass my meal like plant-based, basically. So I really want to make sure that I'm incorporating a lot more vegetables, a lot more fruits, and with that, making sure that they are, if I can, find them organic. I know that there are some fruits and vegetables that you don't have to have organic because they have thick skins or rinds on them that necessarily pesticides don't get through. But foods that I know I can have organic, I do get organic. Pretty much, I mean, and not even just fruits and vegetables. Like, they now have, let me see, there were a couple of things that they have organic potato chips. Like there were some things like that that I saw that I was like, whoa, okay. Like there really is organic everything. So yeah, anything that I can possibly get my hands on that is organic, that is certified organic, non-GMO as well, which is genetically modified. Is it genetically modified organisms? I think that's what the O stands for. But I know the G and the M stands for genetically modified. So I try to stay away from that. I try to stay away from non-GMO, or I'm sorry, I try to stay away from GMO. So everything that I try to eat is non-GMO, organic, dairy-free, and gluten-free. So basically what that consists of is typical day, I eat mostly the same things daily. So I'll make an omelet in the morning. I'll do usually organic mushrooms, organic spinach, organic tomatoes, and cage-free, like no hormones, no antibiotic added eggs. And usually about 2 eggs. So there's 0 carbs in there. And I get my veggies, I get protein, and it's pretty well balanced. I sometimes will have some fruit in the morning. I'll do an orange or I'll do an apple, also organic. I'll do a banana, and it gives me a lot of sugar there, so fruits obviously have tons of carbs, so it gives me some good energy in the morning to get going. I don't drink anything really besides water. I do drink some tea here and there. I did find some organic lemonade, and I drink that sparingly. What I'll do is I'll take like my liter water bottle and put like a couple of ounces of lemonade in there, basically just to taste it. Or just to add some flavor and taste, because I don't want to use any of those like Crystal Light packets or anything, because it's got a bunch of fake sugar in it, and I don't want any of that. So as long as it doesn't have any like aspartame or any like weird whatever, like just cane sugar is great as a sweetener. It's natural, and that's fine. And I mean, I have a little bit of sugar, that's whatever, no big deal. So that's breakfast. Lunch, I have, Costco sells these organic non-GMO veggie bowls that I've purchased. It's basically black beans, kale, quinoa, I believe that there's some sort of tomato sauce in there, and brown rice. So I do have quinoa and brown rice. So I take that and I'll do some tuna with it to add a little bit more protein. And then I'll usually have maybe another fruit or so in there. As a snack, I've also started doing, I shop at Aldi a lot, and Aldi has these little pouches that are actually for like kids and babies, but they work really well for snacks. So they have a lot of different combinations of fruits and veggies that are all organic, and they come in these little squeeze pouches. So I will buy a bunch of those, whatever flavors I like, and I'll use that as like a snack in between breakfast and lunch if I need it. I also have, I think it's Go-Go Squeeze, Go-Go Yogurt, something like that. Go-Go something. I don't know what the company is. But they have yogurt varieties and they have non-yogurt varieties. And it's the same kind of thing. It's basically puree of fruits and vegetables together, also organic, and same thing. I'll do that as a snack. Then more water, of course. And then for dinner, I'll usually have, again, just more veggies and some sort of chicken or some sort of protein. All the chicken that I buy now, I make sure that it states that they do not add any hormones or antibiotics. I try to do as much organic stuff there as well. If I buy beef, it's grass-fed beef. Again, no hormones and antibiotics. I'm trying to do a lot more fish. I've actually just today bought a little bit more salmon, and trying out trout. I don't think I've ever eaten that before, but it looked just like salmon. I don't know. I don't have any issue with seafood, so I'm up to try whatever. They did have tilapia, but I remember someone told me not to eat tilapia because it was kind of like a trash fish. So I'm not eating tilapia, and I'm focusing on salmon. I'm going to try the trout and see how it is. So for dinner, I try to ensure that I do a bunch more plant-based meals. So I'll try to ensure that I'm doing much more veggies than anything with that. I limit my carbs, like I said, to the morning or afternoon, and in the evening I'll do either, broccoli or asparagus, or what else? I'll do carrots. Although carrots do have a little bit of sugar, but I'll do carrots, and I'll do, whatever I can get as far as veggies, cauliflower, bell peppers, I mean anything. Anything that's organic that is in the veggie category, I'll eat along with my proteins. Other things that I have turned to supplement and to kind of spice things up are a lot of hummus. Hummus is a great thing. It's not super high in calories, and there's tons of different flavors in it that you can try. So they have garlic, they have pine nuts, they have roasted red pepper, they have jalapeno, so many that you can try. It's a great addition. I use that on a lot of my salads and when I do eat them, and with my dinners to kind of spice things up a little bit. I will also do avocados, tons of avocados. Avocados are high in fat, but they're high in good fat. They do have a bunch of calories, but I try to limit myself to like a half an avocado a day, and then I'll save the other half for the next day. And that's how I kind of like split the calories. So just with changing my diet from September to, so let's say September 17th was the day of my surgery. Let's say that was the day that I was 299. To when I started radiation, which was November, that was, I believe, the week of Thanksgiving. So I think it was the 22nd, November 22nd. So that was about 2 months. From September 17th to November 22nd, I had already lost 20 pounds because I was down to 276 when they first weighed me at radiation. So just diet alone. So when people say that weight loss is like 80% diet, 20% activity or exercise, it is the truth. You really need to be aware of the calories that you are putting into your mouth. And it's not about restriction necessarily, because there's so many foods that you can eat that are low in calorie. It's just you have to switch from the high calorie to the low calorie. So for me, it's not just about the weight loss, it's about the health factor as far as my condition is concerned when it comes to cancer and whatnot. So, a lot of people are overweight and healthy, and that's great, and you do you. For me personally, I know that I want to get down to to at least under the 200s. Let's see if I can do it. No, I know I can. And just for my, again, reducing the risk of reoccurrence. So I lost 20 pounds in 2 months, which was a lot. Okay, that's not necessarily healthy, but just in the change from what I was eating previously to what I was eating then, I wasn't restricting calories, I wasn't hungry, I wasn't limiting myself, I was eating a lot actually, trying to get all of the vitamins and minerals and different types of foods and veggies that I wanted into my diet. Is hard because I mean, you get full really quickly. I was trying to, get as much fruit in, as much vegetables in and all that stuff, and it was just difficult. I was like, I'm full, I can't eat anymore. But I tried. So yeah, it is a little difficult to make sure that I get everything, but I do take, supplements and whatnot. So then, so that was diet. Then around, right around October, I believe right before Halloween, I actually started to do physical therapy. So right around October 17th, that was I guess around then, that was about 4 weeks. So 4 weeks after surgery, I was pretty well healed. I had a little bit of an open area in where my incision was, where my scar is, and I was just waiting for that to heal. So I got delayed a little bit, but once I was finally healed, I was able to start physical therapy. That helped me so much more because after surgery, I was laid out with drains. Like I said, my range of motion was crap. My strength was horrible because I'd been sitting around doing nothing, and my endurance was low, so getting to the gym was fantastic. I started slowly. I started doing just 30 minutes. That's it. 30 minutes. I would come... No, I'm sorry. I didn't go to the gym. I take it back. I started just walking around the neighborhood because I wasn't able to get to the gym just yet because I still, even before I was completely healed and whatnot, couldn't use my arms, I couldn't lift or anything, but I knew that I could use my legs. And I still had my drains and all that. They were super uncomfortable. I really hated it. Trying to get into a sports bra after you've had a mastectomy sucks. But it was still nice outside. It was fall. And it was, you know, sunny days. It was slightly cool. It was like perfect weather to be outside. So I took advantage, and it helped me get out of the house too, which was great for me because after surgery I was in the worst state of mind. The worst. I had just been dumped basically, and was recovering from surgery that was life-changing, and you just feel like crap. So getting outside, walking around, enjoying the beautiful weather, and just like, you know, listening to the birds chirp was like great. I would go to the park every day, and I would go up and down the stairs at the field house. There was this little like back steps from the field house that I would use to like do like step ups, and I would squat, and I would do, you know, like whatever I could with my legs. Couldn't do anything with my arms, couldn't do anything from the waist up, but my legs were getting a workout. So finally then, when my drains were removed and I started physical therapy, then I started going back to the gym. I started, like I said, 30 minutes. That's it. I was up to almost an hour working out at the park and whatnot, just walking. So I would do 30 minutes on the treadmill, and then I would do 30 minutes doing weights, again, just for my legs. My arms were being taken care of at therapy, so I didn't do any sort of arm stuff at the gym. I just did leg stuff. I did squats, I did lunges, I did the leg press, I did heel raises, I did side steps, I did everything that I possibly could for my legs, in addition to the 30 minutes on the treadmill. Then as time went on, could feel myself getting stronger as far as my legs were concerned, so I would up the treadmill speed first. So I upped the treadmill speed a little bit until I got to about 3.5. Once I was comfortable at 3.5 for 30 minutes, then I upped the time and I went to 40 minutes. Then I went to 50 minutes. Then I went to an hour. So I was doing an hour on the treadmill. For like 3.5, 4.0, I would, you know, go in between. I would sometimes vary it up a little bit, but I was doing that. Then once I was comfortable with an hour at that 3.5, 4.0, I started trying jogging. I started with 2 minutes. No, I'm sorry. 2 minutes, who am I kidding? I started with 1 minute, okay? I started with 1 minute, and then when I was comfortable with that, I did a minute and a half. Then I did 2 minutes. Then I did 3 minutes. And I kept building and building until I got to the point where I was jogging on the treadmill at, I think, a 5.4, 5.5 speed for 10 minutes. I was so proud of myself. Hadn't run in forever. And the fact that I was doing it after having a mastectomy, after the surgery, after fucking cancer, are you kidding me? I was like, yes, I am the bomb. Yes, I am amazing. Thank you. So, tooting my own horn. But it felt great. It just felt amazing, you know? And then of course, the shitty part happened where I had started radiation, and radiation also causes fatigue, and you're basically getting burned every fucking day. So I got to a point where I had to stop working out. I just had to. The sweat, like I sweat all through here, like my forehead, my mustache area, upper lip, and like here in my neck and like the back of my head sweats profusely. I am a big fucking sweater, and it just would like drip down my chest, and obviously I was getting radiated on my chest, and it would sting because imagine, you know, like you're burned, like I was literally burned, and then it's like your sweat is kind of salty, throwing that on top, no. Honey, I was like, okay, this hurts, we're stopping now. So I basically had to stop. I had stopped physical therapy because I couldn't be doing any of that anymore either. It just came to a point where she couldn't really do much with me because, again, it hurt. So I was just doing whatever I could on my own as far as just trying to maintain my range of motion and stretch my arm and just doing day to day. I went back to work for a while. I was doing that, and then I had to stop that too because radiation. I was burnt as all hell. Couldn't wear a bra. Couldn't, like, t-shirt sucked, all that stuff. So it wasn't worth it. So I stopped all that. But I continued with my diet, and thankfully, in the 4 to 5 weeks that I had of the last part of my radiation into the recovery from radiation, I still continued to lose weight. And again, just goes to show that diet does have a huge part in weight loss. When I stopped working out, I believe I was about 265, and then the next couple of weigh-ins, I think I was 257, 258, something like that. And the last 2 weeks, I've dropped a few more pounds, and today, literally today, this morning, I weighed myself, and I was 247.8. I was so stoked. So I've literally lost like 50 pounds, pretty much 50 pounds. I'm really excited for myself. I want to try and include some progress pictures. I've taken a couple. I use MyFitnessPal here and there. I used it pretty religiously at the beginning, logging my food and whatnot, just to kind of give me an idea as to what my caloric intake was versus my activity caloric outtake. I don't know. And once I got the hang of things, and once I figured out, like, okay, this much is this much, and this food is this many calories and whatever, and I kind of got an idea, I sort of stopped using it. But I did continue to log my weight in there. And it's really helpful to keep you on track and just to make you aware of what you're eating and what you're doing, and you know, just keep you on your goal, really. And so today, when I entered in my weight into MyFitnessPal, it said that I had reached my goal, which I was so excited about. So MyFitnessPal is definitely a big help. It just, you know, keeps you on track. Like I said, just keeps you on track. So I am going to have my physical therapy consult this week. I'm also going to have my nutritional consult this week. I have some questions about possibly doing the ketogenic diet. I know that that's worked for a lot of people as far as weight loss is concerned, and so I'm trying to get some information on that, because I've also heard there are some preliminary trials in regards to the ketogenic diet and those diagnosed with cancer to prevent reoccurrence. So I'm asking all about that. Starting up physical therapy, like I said, to try and get some more strengthening exercises as far as my upper body is concerned. I've been using my left arm a lot more for things to protect my right arm, and it's starting to get a little bit sore and tired, so I definitely need to work on that a little bit. So we're gonna get that going, and just building myself back up again is just key. So obviously this is very specific to me, to what I've done in regards to my health, my diagnosis, you know, having just gone through cancer treatment, being diagnosed with cancer, etc. But just wanted to give you guys some ideas as to how you can do it, because honestly, it's the basics of calories in versus calories out, ensuring that you're putting the right things into your body, the making better choices, and just being active. I mean, do whatever you think feels good. You know, you start with the small things and build up. I know it really sucks for me, because having gone from just a couple months ago, I was able to run for 10 minutes on the treadmill, and now I'm like huffing and puffing as I do 30 minutes of walking. It really sucks. So those things are out of my control. I can't you know, I had to do the treatment. I had to stop working out. I had to stop doing what I was doing. But getting back on the wagon and just making sure that I'm taking my health in my hands again, what I can, I'm going to do it. And I know I'm going to succeed. So I know I'll meet my goals, and I'll show you guys some progress pics and give you guys the lowdown, and all the information that I get from them I can definitely bring to you if you guys are interested in learning about maybe the ketogenic diet. I was going to ask about like intermittent fasting as well. I've heard about that. It's really just about making sure that you are doing this for the right reasons. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it because you want to lose the weight, not for someone else, not for, you know, a guy, not for a girl, not for anything other than you. Not for, you know, it should always start with you, making sure that you make the decision to change. Everybody can change, everybody, but you need to be the one to make the change. You need to be the one that says, this change is for me, and I'm going to do this because I want it, not because somebody else told me to do it, not because I want to make somebody else happy. It's got to be for you. It starts there. So I know that that's the main thing. You got to get into the mental space, and I'm definitely in the mental space. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to keep doing this. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. If anything, I just want to bring you guys all the information. Like I said, when I get more information, I can definitely pass it along. I might do another video about like the ketogenic diet or intermittent fasting or whatever. I can do some exercise videos for you guys. I mean, I am a physical therapist. I do know what I'm doing. So that's about it. That's how I lost 50 pounds, guys. I'm so excited. I just hope it continues. Another 50 to go, and then another 25 to go, and hopefully I'll just get to a nice, you know, space where I feel good, I feel secure with myself, with my weight, I feel healthy again, and I just want to, you know, share it with you guys and just be here for as long as I possibly can. So if you guys have any questions or comments or whatever, obviously leave them down below. And I think I am planning on doing a more in-depth series about being diagnosed with cancer. I know I've mentioned a couple of things in my attempted Vlogmas, which turned out to be like 5 videos because I can't vlog every day because I'm boring. But I kind of want to break it up and do, you know, when I was diagnosed, how that happened, how I found my cancer, all that stuff, chemo, and then surgery, and then radiation, and then anything in between. I have, like I said in previous videos, I want to do like wig review, I want to do scarf tying, hat, like caps and things, talk about reconstruction, talk about all that fun stuff. So I'm definitely going to want to bring that to you guys soon. I hope you're interested in that. If not, then don't watch it. When I feel comfortable again, when I have more hair, I'll start doing hair tutorials and makeup tutorials again. It's just really not feeling that right now. There's a lot of other things that I'm focusing on. So I'll get back to those eventually, I'm sure. Just be patient with me. I'm learning a lot about patience, learning a lot about myself, and how I really need to be more patient. So yeah, I mean, shout out to my hair for coming back. Super duper curly, like I don't know if you guys can really see right now, but it is so curly. I am so not used to this. I have no idea what to do, but headbands are my friend right now. I like to joke that in the morning I have Kramer hair from the show Seinfeld, and when I come out of the shower I look like Mario Lopez when he was AC Slater in Saved by the Bell, or any other slew of 80s curly haired mullet hairstyle person that you could think of. Is pretty much what it looks like. So yeah, headbands are my friend, you know, hats, whatever. I'm still cute, so what does it matter, right? I have hair, I look gorgeous, and it's amazing. So anyway, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm glad that I could bring this to you guys. And if you have any suggestions for videos that you might want to see, any topics, any questions you have about my cancer diagnosis, please let me know. I will try and bring you some more videos in the future and hopefully get on a better filming schedule. So, hope you guys have a great day, afternoon, evening, weekend, whatever it is in your part of the world right now that you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.